Ana Jimeno. She is one of the lawyers of SMARTMATIC, and Mr. Eli Moreno, the General Manager of SMARTMATIC. Okay, game. Simulan na natin ang ating forum sa umaga nito. In brief, Attorney Karen, ano itong VCMR?
Ito yung vote counting machine na gagamitin para sa 2016 elections. At naiiba ito dun sa dating ginamit noong mga nakaraang eleksyon. May kita nyo naman sa itsura pa lang ibang-iba. Pero to be technical about it, ang model dito, ang tawag ay SAES 1800+. Makikita ninyo na kumpara dun sa dati, meron na tayong malaking colored na screen, na touch screen. May kakayahan din ito para sa on-screen review. But for these elections, ang desisyon ng COMELEC ay hindi gamitin yung on-screen review dahil meron na tayong voter's receipt para hindi masyadong tumagal yung pagboboto. So para dun sa mga botante natin on election day, huwag kayo magugulat kung pagkatas niyong ilagay yung ballot ninyo, it will say voting time expired. Because meron lang to 1 second para i-cast yung ballot at magpiprint na siya ng receipt. Apart from that, yung mga ibang pinagkaiba niya, mas mabilis na yung processor natin. At meron tayong kakayahan dito sa machines na i-take or i-scan yung picture ng balota. So apart from having the ballots na nakasecure dun sa loob ng ballot box, meron itong picture nung harap at likod ng balota. So pwede ito ikumpara doon sa electronic results if you want to audit. Tapos sa gilid natin may makikita kayong lalagyan ng SD cards. Dalawa ang SD cards para sa elections. At pareho sila na ang tawag natin dyan mirror copies of each other. So yung electronic results ay encrypted na nakasave doon sa dalawang SD cards. At may kakayahan itong mag-transmit electronically. So pagkatapos i-close yung voting, lahat ng results bilangin at ita-transmit using SIM cards, using our 3 telecoms, Globe, Smart, at Sun. Pero para dun sa mga areas na either walang signal or mahina yung signal, meron tayong tinatawag na bigan satellites. Okay, para sigurado talaga matransmit lahat. Pero sa ilalim ng batas, pagka hindi ma-electronically transmit ang results, ihahatid yung mismong SD card para isama dun sa canvassing and consolidation of votes. Yun lang yung iba sa mga kakayahan nito. Kasama na dito yung meron tayong feature for persons with disabilities. So PWD voters. Kaya meron tayong makikita dito na lalagyan para doon sa earphones or headphones para kung merong kahinaan hindi makabasa ng maayos or yung mga para sa mga handicap na either blind or disabled, pwedeng headphones ang gamitin.
How can I know na yung laman ng dalawang SD cards are mirror image of each other?
Well, kahit anyone can verify that. Pero, one, kung dadalhin siya sa canvassing center, if you really want to check it, pareho sila ng laman. But it is encrypted. That's one of the security features. So, let's say, Ariel, subukan mong kunin yung isang SD card para palitan mo yung resulta. Pag sinubukan mong buksan ito sa computer mo, hindi mo siya mababasa. Kasi encrypted yung results. Para kang nagbabasa ng something in Chinese characters kung hindi ka marunong mag-Chinese. Pero, each of the SD cards din, meron siyang tinatawag na digital signatures. Yung digital signatures, naka-attach yan dun sa bawat Board of Election Inspectors na nagpapatakbo ng vote counting machines per precinct. So, naka-attach yung digital signatures dun sa encrypted results so that pag sinubukan mong i-tamper with or buksan itong SD card, nasisira agad yung digital signature. Parang imagine niyo yung envelope na nasa loob yung resulta at merong sticker sa labas. Pag ako sinubukan kong palitan, masisira yung sticker. So that pag ipinasa sa'yo yung resulta, alam mo na agad na may nagsubok na pakilaman.
So, ako, wala akong kakayahan na malaman kung ano ang laman ng dalawang SD card.
Yes. Pero kung gusto mong i-verify na pareho ba talaga yung laman yan at saka accurate ba talaga, dadalhin nyo dun sa canvassing servers or yung mga may authority na meron silang decryption key. lahat ng sinasabi ko ito, yung access to the SD cards, yung pag-decrypt ng results, ang lahat ng merong access dito ay COMELEC. Sila yung merong decryption keys din. So, pag ginamitan mo yan nung tamang canvassing computers or laptops na merong decryption key, makikita ninyo na pareho-pareho yung laman ng bawat isa. And they're both read-only, meaning hindi pwedeng palitan yung resulta, hindi pwedeng mag-write over the SD cards.
Pwede bang makakuha ng kopya ng laman ng SD card na yun?
Pwede kung gusto mo.
Isibligan.
Okay, una-una, pagka naman gusto mo malaman yung resulta ng vote counting machines kung paano nagkabilangan, as soon as the Board of Election Inspectors closes the voting, nagpe-print agad siya nung results. Yun yung tinatawag nating election returns. 30 copies yung piniprint ng vote counting machines per polling precinct in accordance with the law. 8 yung original na ibibigay doon sa dominant majority party, dominant minority party, and after pa-distribute siya pati sa mga board of canvassers na in accordance with the hierarchy required by law. Pagkatapos nun, another 22 copies. So 30 all in all. But doon pa lang, makikita mo na yung printed results. Apart from that, yung electronic results that will be transmitted, it will be transmitted to the canvassing servers, dun sa municipal level, paakyat yan dun sa board, up to the national, provincial board, up to the National Board of Canvassers. And kasabay dun sa pag-transmit dun sa Board of Canvassers, tinatransmit din ito dun sa transparency server na ang namamahala ay KBP. So, yung media may access doon. Pwede nyo i-compare dun sa election results na nakuha for that precinct. Tignan nyo, nagpa-match ba doon sa electronic results na tinatransmit din. At meron din tayong isa pang tinatransmit doon sa central server ng COMELEC. And isa sa mga gagawin for this 2016 elections is that the results will also be published in a public site. Noong nakaraang meeting namin noong this Saturday, pinesenta ng COMELEC to SMARTMATIC, ng SMARTMATIC to COMELEC, yung public site na ito. So, you will see each of the candidates, pati yung votes na nakukuha nila as soon as matransmit ito ng mga vote counting
These
machines.
apprehensions are some of the SD cards may be preloaded with results. How can I know that it is not preloaded?
At the start of each voting sa per polling precinct, bago pa magkaroon ng voters na magka-cast ng ballot, meron tayong tinatawag na re-zero report. And yan yung isang proseso kung saan pag binuksan yung vote counting machine before the voting starts, mag-generate ng re-zero value report kung saan makikita ninyo na walang laman yung vote counting machine. Ginagawa ito in front of the election watchdogs at representatives of the political parties. That's one of the ways na pinapakita na walang laman yung vote counting machine, hindi preloaded. But even after the voting closes, kung meron gusto malaman accurate ba yung electronic results as against dun sa ballots, pwedeng buksan yung vote counting machine at i-compare yung ballots at magkaroon ng manual count against the electronic results. In fact, for COMELEC, what they will also do is have what you call the random manual audit, kung saan merong mga election watchdogs that will go to the precincts and will open the ballot boxes after the close of the votings to compare the ballots with the electronic results through a manual count.
Yeah, for GM
Ariel,
Moreno.
just to add, you can check here, this is one of the initialization reports. When we started and we set up this machine, our friend Miguel did this report. Many of you saw it. Basically, it shows, and please take a look, it shows all the candidates, as you will see, and we will make a demonstration for you in a second. This is a demonstration information, of course, it's not just
This is microscopic.
and you will see that it has 0 votes for all the candidates. Okay? That is a way that the BIs, the political parties, and the watchers will make sure that there are no votes in the machine. Also, remember they do the final testing and sealing, and during the final testing and sealing, or after the final testing and sealing, they will pre-zero the equipment and then they will seal it. And after that, they will not touch it until election day.
These vote counting machines, CCS and other election equipment are too technical. Who is running the election? Is it you or the COMELEC?
COMELEC. Comelec is running the elections. SMARTMATIC participated in a bidding to provide Comelec the technology. We provided the technology, we trained Comelec, and we give support to Comelec during the process. And it's Comelec who actually configures all the machines, configures all the SD cards, and run the election in the polling center using basically the teachers.
Categorical question. If we will ask you to leave, all these SMARTMATIC people, can Comelec operate this?
Yes, sir.
Including the CCM and the other election equipment?
Yes, sir.
So, what is your role?
Support.
Which means?
Which means, as for example with your cell phone, if you have a problem with your cell phone, you can call a technical center and they can help you solve your problem. So basically, Comelec is using the cell phone, and if they have any problem that they are not able to solve because they didn't encounter that problem before, they contact us and we're there with them, and they tell us we're having this problem. We haven't seen this problem before, what should we do? Basically, that's it.
How many people are you employing on election day in SMARTMATIC?
As part of the bidding and the terms of reference, we were requested to have at least one technician in each one of the polling centers. So we have around 45,000 persons deployed in the country.
Di ba mas marami yan kaysa mga technician ng Comelec?
Hindi. Kasi imagine, ang kailangan i-employ ng Comelec dito is for each of the polling centers to run the vote counting machines or magpatakbo ng vote counting machines, 3. Chairman, tapos 2 members ng Board of Election Inspectors. That's already 3 times more than the employees of SMARTMATIC. And then, apart from that, they also have their own field technical personnel. SMARTMATIC's personnel are only backups. But Ariel, it's a good thing that you asked that question kasi marami sa mga kababayan natin talagang pagdating ng election, akala nila SMARTMATIC yung nagpapatakbo ng mga vote counting machines, nagpapatakbo ng consolidation at counting. Again, Comelec po naayon sa ating saligang batas, sa konstitusyon natin, ang nagpapatakbo at namamahala sa eleksyon. So, kaya matitignan ninyo dun sa, pag tinignan nyo yung timeline, yung project table for the elections, kasama dito yung training of the personnel of Comelec because they are trained how to run the vote counting machines, how to do the canvassing and consolidation of votes, pati ang Congress and Senate, sila ang nag-consolidate at nag-canvass ng votes for President and Vice President. Kaya trained din sila kung paano gamitin yung equipment.
But can a SMARTMATIC technician stop the operation of all your machine?
No, actually the SMARTMATIC technician doesn't have access to the machine. They will only support the BIs in case the BIs request their support. So again, going back to your cell phone, you have your cell phone, you use it. In case you have a problem, as the owner of the cell phone, you ask the provider of your support to help you with something. So it's not the SMARTMATIC technician who is managing it.
But telcos can stop the service anytime. Can you stop the functioning, the function of the system anytime?
No. The machines are deployed. Remember, they were standalone. So the machines are in place, and basically it's Comelec who has them in each one of their regional hubs, in each one of the provinces, and eventually during FTS and election day, it's the teachers who have them in their custody. It's not SMARTMATIC.
Yeah, Ariel, napaka-importante nung sinasabi mo ka because, again, in order for someone to stop the machines from working, that means having to physically turn it off. Kasi hindi naman siya online, hindi siya connected to the internet. It's not like may master switch from afar na pwede na lang i-off basta yung mga vote counting machines. And all the machines have been turned over to the custody of Comelec. That's why they're also housed in the warehouse of Comelec, and then they are dispatched by Comelec's third-party service provider for logistics, hindi SMARTMATIC. So on elections day, ang may access lang dun sa mga vote counting machines ay ang mga tao ng Comelec. Sila lang din ang nakakaalam ng personal identification number or PIN at password, at sila lang din yung may hawak ng digital keys. Nandito siguro yun, o digital, yung pinatawag natin na i-buttons, parang yun yung susi na may microchip na kinakailangan para ma-on itong machine. Ganito yung itsura niya. So, ang may hawak nitong lahat ng ito ay Comelec. So, imagine niyo parang call center, na ang call center, ang may-ari ay Comelec, at ang SMARTMATIC yung supplier nila for the laptops. Hindi ba ganun? Pagka-deliver na sa inyo wala nang access yung supplier. Kunwari nag-order kayo from Apple. Hindi na makakapasok yung Apple sa loob ng call center. Mga tao na rin ng Comelec ang magpapatakbo ng mga laptop. So, ganun din tayo sa eleksyon. So, bilang provider lang ng mga makina, ang provide na ng SMARTMATIC during election day ay yung tinatawag na technical support. Ibig sabihin, pwede silang tawagan pagka merong technical question na, okay, may nagkaroon ng paper jam, anong kailangan gawin? Ganung halimbawa. So, it's more of technical support that is provided remotely. Ngayon, kung kailangan mag-deploy ng technical personnel, pwede magpadala doon.
A question from a TV reporter. Is vote switching possible? Vote for Duterte, lalabas, vote for Mar. Agad na nire-reklamo sa OAV ng mga OFW.
Yung vote switching, mangyayari lang yan pagka, kunwari, nakaprogram yung computer in that way, pero in this case, hindi yan posible with the vote counting machines. And this is something that we encourage all of you to try habang nandito yung vote counting machines. Because, in fact, the vote counting machines do not even recognize names of candidates. Pagka tinignan ninyo yung source code that runs the vote counting machines, wala ditong pangalan ng candidates, wala man lang yung position or number nila sa ballot. It does not recognize candidates. It's meant to run based on finding the shades doon sa tinatawag natin. Kaya pag nakita nyo itong ballot, very important itong nasa sides na timing marks. Because all it does is look for the position of the shades, and then you have a separate configuration file that matches yung kung saan naglaland yung shade with the names of the candidates. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya maaaring ma-program para maglipat ng mga boto per candidate because it doesn't even know sino yung candidate at saan nililipat. So, that's how it's programmed. And again, this has undergone several tests na makikita natin na kung ano yung i-shade ninyo, yun yung lalabas sa voter's receipt at yun din yung lalabas sa final count. And in fact, pag sinabi mong paano ba pre-program, it all boils down to the source code. And that source code is the software that runs the vote counting machines. It was reviewed by all political parties and election watchdogs 7 months before election day. And they signed a certification, yung mga members of political parties, saying that they did not find any malicious code or walang pandadaya doon sa source code. At itong source code na to, sinertify din ng isa pang independent certification agency na tinatawag natin SLI Global na hinire separately ng Comelec na hindi related to SMARTMATIC, hindi rin related to Comelec. They certified that that source code is free from any malicious errors or code, hindi ito mangdadaya, at it's meant to run properly. At ito yung source code na dineposito sa Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas.
Okay, question?
Yes, Attorney Menos. Regarding the source code, you said this is the thing that runs the machine and orders the machine how to count it. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. You also mentioned that the source code was reviewed by the political parties and another independent. But however, a few weeks ago, we had guests here from the Philippine Computer Society and other persons knowledgeable in the computers. And they said that the machine is still liable to some faults. And they said that there is no guarantee that the machine will come out with the correct and valid results.
Okay, that's a very vague statement. Because one, you're saying liable for faults. In what sense? Because again, the way it's programmed right now, it will, among other things, apart from the election management system, it is programmed to detect the shades, and from there you count the total of the votes for each candidate. And it's not meant to do any other thing except on that basis. That's why we always remind voters to shade the ballots properly so that it is within the threshold allotted by Comelec so that they detect the shades corresponding to each candidate. And other than that, I don't know how else you can say that it's liable for errors.
Well, what we're saying is this. The source code is programmed to run as it is. But in 2013 and 2010, there were several questions on the source code. Now, the source code can be programmed to read only the shades of a particular candidate, right? Now, would it be possible that it's only reading the shade of the source code,
Yeah.
the source code that is probably meant for the administration or some other party?
Okay. You can program like any
You
software the way
you can program the source
Yes,
code to
exactly.
be what you like, right?
Yes, exactly, because that's how computer programs run. Basically, you put in a command and it's going to function that way. But the question is it functioning that way? That's why we've had the pre-election logical accuracy test, wherein ballots are fed into it and political parties themselves in the final testing and sealing will see how the machines read the ballots. And we've had several tests conducted even in front of members of the media recently with a big newspaper for them to test the machines themselves. And they know that this is the exact machine that will be used for the elections because it contains the same hash code that is the source code deposited with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Now, again, that's why you have the voters' receipts. That's only one of the ways to check how the machines are reading the shades, right? And again, apart from the voters' receipts, you have the random manual audit wherein the manual count of the ballots will be conducted to check against the electronic results. Again, anyone can make a conspiracy theory. That's why I'm challenging everyone. Elections day, feel free to compare. You've mentioned 2010 and 2013, losing candidates who are complaining that, well, we were cheated. And they had the liberty to file an election protest in accordance with the law, which requires a manual recount of the ballots against the electronic results. None of them were victorious based on that allegation. And this is a good indication that any losing candidate can complain that they were cheated, but in terms of saying that it was based on the source code, that the vote counting machines were programmed to cheat them, they were not proven to be correct. And again, each vote counting machine will only yield at the most 800 voters. So that requires, again, proving that it was programmed for everyone to do the same. But again, let's go back to the basics. How is it meant to run? And what are the ways to show that? One, source code. It's been reviewed, again, independent certification agency, even by political parties. And again, I encourage you to go to the final testing and sealing so that you can see how it runs. Even today, after this press conference, I want you to try it and see for yourself how it counts your vote.
Finally, you said that the SD cards are supposed to be blank. Your digital key is that it has a different code for all 90,000 machines. The digital key. Okay. In other words, it's not one common code. All right. Now, of the 90,000 machines, of course, we will not be able. The public will not be able to monitor, or even the candidates, what machines were really programmed to read honest and valid votes. My question is, why, as mentioned by Ariel, in the OAV, there were several reports that votes for certain candidates were not counted, did not come out in the receipt.
Okay.
So what's the answer to this?
Okay. I like that you brought that up because we also received the same reports, and in fact, we asked Comelec to look into those reports because it's hard to judge and say that, oh, there's something wrong with the machine because the receipts came out differently. It sounds like, again, this conspiracy to say that the vote counting machines are not recording the votes properly, when in fact, it's only programmed in a certain way. Whatever is shaded, that is counted as a vote and it comes out in the voter's receipt. Now, to allege that it is some form of conspiracy to cheat people out of their votes.
I'm sorry, I didn't say it's conspiracy.
No, it's okay. Because for me, that's how I'm reading it. But just to clarify, the Department of Foreign Affairs themselves have come out with a statement saying that they have not received any formal complaint from overseas voters that really happened, which I find to be very unusual if this was a real scenario, because under the COMELEC regulations, for voters who have a complaint with the way that the voters' receipts reflect what they voted for in their ballot, they have a procedure to follow, which is to file an objection with the Board of Election Inspector, which will note that down, and then they have to sign the voter's
sorry,
receipt.
but-
And in the end, that will be compared against the manual
I'm sorry,
ballots again.
but you know, our OFWs do not have the time to file a complaint,
No,
file an
no,
objection.
it's not like a formal complaint in a court.
Yeah,
It
but
is
see-
right there. You just state your complaint. They will note it down. But that's the point. In the
Are
first
you
place,
are you saying that the OFWs lie, that their votes were not counted? Because we received so many reports from
Okay,
from social
no,
media.
that's the problem here. I'm talking about we are open, of course, to all types of reports. That's why we even asked COMELEC to look into that. But what I'm saying here is that we should also, as responsible voters, be careful of what we differentiate between propaganda and actual facts. My point is, if you have someone saying this, how were they able to take a photo of their voters' receipts when in fact this is not allowed in the precincts? But that's beside the point. My point is, if there's a real complaint, in accordance with the procedure, you just state it in front of the Board of Election Inspector. They will note that down. It's not even a complicated process. You just say what's wrong, they note it down, you will sign the voter's receipt, and it is up for investigation by COMELEC. But even to insinuate that that's like a massive scheme to cheat, I find it to be ingenuine and also not brilliant, because you have the voters seeing the results right there and there. Na hindi nag-match yung voter's receipt ko with what I shaded in the ballot. How can that be an effective way of cheating?
Who holds that journal?
It's the Board of Election Inspectors. Of course it's COMELEC, because it's COMELEC running the elections. And I think this is what we have to clarify with people. They think it's SMARTMATIC that is deployed out there to run the elections. It is COMELEC. And that is why COMELEC has also their own rules to deal with any complaint if the voter's receipts, for instance, is objected to by the voter.
Yeah, when I go a little bit technical dun sa shading, what is the threshold of shade that is needed for the machine to count?
COMELEC said that threshold is 25% of the circle. So
25%.
if you shade more than 25% of the circle, which is usual, and I will use one of the ballots, and I would actually like to have a demo. I believe that's the best way for people to see how it works. If
So
you,
25% threshold.
yes.
Is it visible to my naked eye that 25% shade, threshold of shade?
No, the instructions to the voters is fully shaded. As you've seen in the diagrams that COMELEC is publishing, basically you have to fully shade the voter. That is the training that COMELEC is doing to the voters.
Yeah, but,
fully shade your
but
voter.
any lighter shade, as long as it will meet the 25% threshold, will be counted by the machine. Yeah, again, I'll go back to my question. Can my naked eye see the 25% threshold of shade?
No. I mean, depending on the precision of your naked eye, I would say that.
Yeah. My next question will be, is it possible that some ballots are pre-shaded?
Well, ballots are printed by National Printing Office, okay? So they are actually not printed by SMARTMATIC. It's a National Printing Office who prints them. COMELEC, and again, political parties, watchers are there during the process. Then they are packed and transported to the municipal board of treasurers. Municipal treasurer's office, sorry. And only at that time, on election day, the BIs will get the ballots and bring them to the polling center.
So, did I get it right that SMARTMATIC cannot know if the ballots printed by the COMELEC are pre-shaded?
That's
You
not
never know.
up to SMARTMATIC to check in the first place, because again, SMARTMATIC can't even be there in the polling centers. It's against the Constitution to have SMARTMATIC or any technical service provider intervene in the way elections are being conducted and supervised during election day. So it is up to the Board of Election Inspectors to check that the ballots are clean, because they are the ones that will distribute the ballot to each voter on election day. But also, I would say that voters should be vigilant. As soon as you receive your ballots, check it right away if there are any pre-markings. And it is part of one of COMELEC's announcement, they keep reminding voters, check your ballots on election day, make sure there are no unnecessary markings, and of course, make sure that there's no pre-shading.
Yeah. If there are two candidates in one position, one is pre-shaded at 25% threshold, and the other one is shaded at 80 or 90% threshold, anong babasahin ng makina?
Wala. Kasi ang mangyayari dito, overvote. And I encourage everyone to try the voting right now. If you want, you can start getting sample ballots, you can try voting, and then you can feed it into the machine and see what happens. So, yun yung isa sa mga pinaka-importante dito. Don't overvote. If you have second thoughts, kunwari, hindi pa kayo decided on a particular position for president, for instance, huwag niyo munang markahan ng kahit sino. Dahil pag nagbago ang isip ninyo, kahit lagyan niyo ng malaking X yung una niyong choice, hindi na yan makakount. It's going to be overvote.
Okay, question sa ating kasama sa media. Pakiusap lang po ang rule sa ating forum. Journalists ask questions. Hindi hintay natin ang kanilang sagot. Kung hindi tayo naniniwala, tirahin natin sa ating column, tirahin natin sa ating programa. Pero never, hindi natin po i-convert sa ating ideology ng ating mga panuwin. Question sa ating mga kasama.
Magandang umaga, Karen. Kandidato ako para senador. Kaya dapat malaman namin na hindi kami dadayain ng COMELEC at ng SMARTMATIC. Ngayon, merong aligasyon na ang inyong electronic transmission ay hindi diretso sa COMELEC server o national server. Diretso muna sa Camp Aguinaldo. Gaano ba katotoo ito?
Ako, I can definitely say categorically, hindi totoo. And they're saying that the transmission does not go straight to COMELEC or to the transparency server, but it goes to Camp Aguinaldo. Again, he doesn't even know where Camp Aguinaldo is. It's the base
It's quarters of the Philippines.
In the Philippines. But again, I can categorically say that's not true. But when you're talking about transmission, the transmission plan is something that is laid out by COMELEC. And again, I want to clarify that when it comes to transmission, it's going to be COMELEC that will also conduct that. The vote counting machines will be transmitting the election results directly to the central server, transparency server, and the board of canvassers. So ang magta-transmit po nito, yung mga board of election inspectors per precinct. So to say that SMARTMATIC will transmit it to Camp Aguinaldo first means that nasa kanila yung vote counting machines. Again, it is going to be in each polling center manned by the board of election inspectors. Pangalawa, for you to know tama ba yung na-transmit, you will have the election results and you can get this copy from each polling center that's allowed by law. Pwede yung kunin yan. And you compare it with the count that will come out in the central server, transparency server. In fact, sa central server, ipapublish yun ng COMELEC. Magkakaroon nga ng public site na bawat election results na lalabas on election returns, nandoon agad. So, I think we can all come up with every conspiracy theory that we want, but what I'm asking you guys also to do is to look at the facts. I'm just laying out the facts here. Now, if you have a question, if you've heard of something, feel free to ask them because I really want this opportunity to also clarify because sa amin, we take everything seriously.
Pangalawang tanong, yung inyong resibo, dahil walang COMELEC dito, kayo nakakalam kung anong ginagamit ng inyong machine. Yung inyong resibo, ay resibo ba ninyo ng SMARTMATIC o yung isang nanalong bidder na ang wika nila, 5 taon bago mawala yung kanilang mga marka doon sa kanilang resibo o ang sa inyo na tatlong linggo lang mawawala ng marka?
Okay. So, ang gagamitin dito, thermal papers. These are the examples of the thermal papers. Pareho lang yung thermal paper for the voter's receipt na gagamitin sa initialization report, sa election returns. Ngayon, sa ating batas, merong required amount of time na kailangan mag-preserve lahat ito. And Ellie, how long will it last, the print here, for the thermal papers?
Well, it has to be stored into humidity and temperature condition, but up to 6 years.
6 years. So that's even more than the bigger that you mentioned. But apart from that, when you're talking about voters' receipts, according to the Supreme Court's decision, the only function of the voters' receipts is to allow the voters to verify how the machines read their votes. In terms of evidence, the ballot is still the best evidence. Why? Compare what the voter's receipt looks like. The ballot has so many security features. It's printed on security paper, meron yung UV ink inside, it has all the timing marks, it has a barcode that is unique to each voter, it even has the signature of the Board of Election Inspector Chairman, at nandito yung details. Meron siyang ballot ID number, pati yung precinct associated per voter. The point is, this is also preserved under the ballot box na nakabantay doon yung Board of Election Inspector. And that is why if you have, since you're a candidate, sir, if you have a protest, sabihin nyo na hindi nabilang na maayos ng electronic results, you have the right under the law to have the ballot box open, compared against the actual ballots, at may picture pa yung bawat ballot. So, hindi lang yung nasa loob, ikukumpara pa dun sa digital image ng bawat ballot against the election results. Ang voter's receipt, ngayon pa lang, PPCRV, sinabi na rin sa amin, pati sa COMELEC, na when they conducted their study, sa Mindanao, meron ng mga sinasabihan ng mga botante na palitan yung voter's receipt ng ibang resibo kasi kahawig pag naka-phone lang. So, dun pa lang, makikita ninyo na mahirap na maging basihan ang voter's receipts na any recount or votes because madali siyang palitan, madaling magkulang. But on top of that, you have the Supreme Court decision also saying that it is not what you're going to use in order to verify whether the electronic results matches the manual count.
Dahil natanong ko yun, dahil ang aligasyon nang matalo ang SMARTMATIC sa resibo, sa bidding, i-donate na ninyo ang inyong resibo para sa COMELEC. Kaya masyadong sa laula ang mga pananaw namin, kaming mga kandidato, na kung totoo na ang inyong resibo ang ginagamit, hindi kami maniniwalang 3 linggo lang mawawala na yung mga marka. Kaya kung may magpro-protesta, hindi gaanong...
Una-una sinabi na po ng ating General Manager na 6 years po na tatagal yung resibo. But again, hindi kayo mangangamba kasi nga, yung ballots ang gagamitin ng basihan kung meron kayong reklamo doon sa resulta. At pangatlo, siguro dapat linawin din, bakit ba nag-donate ang SMARTMATIC ng 1.1 million rolls of thermal paper? At yung thermal paper na yun, hindi lang gagamitin para sa voter's receipt, para klaruhin. Yung thermal paper kasi, ginagamit yan sa initialization report na ganito kahaba. Sa bawat vote counting machine yan in all of the 37,000 plus polling precincts. Pangalawa, bawat botante, meron kayong voters receipts. Ilan ba ang botante natin? Naabot po sa higit 54 million voters. Mabilis talaga mauubos yung thermal paper. But at the time that COMELEC was required by the Supreme Court to issue the voters' receipts, it was 60 days less than before election day. So ang problema dito, hindi nakapag-order ahead ng COMELEC, but they were subject to the public bidding requirement under the law. So when they presented their timetable to Congress in the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee hearing, even congressmen and senators who were running again for elections were saying, we don't believe that you can make it in time for election day. Ang malamang yan, may mga probinsya at lugar na hindi makakatanggap ng thermal paper on election day, which is a big problem because in the meantime, all of these thermal papers are being used in the warehouse for what you call the pre-lab, yung pre-election logical accuracy test, even before the final testing and sealing. So titigil yung operasyon sa warehouse, titigil yung mga verification at iba pang mga proseso dun sa warehouse. Apart from that, poproblemahin pa na makakarating nga doon on time. When in fact, with SMARTMATIC's donation, makikip together yung 21 rolls of thermal paper required for each voting counting machine before they are even deployed. So, marami siyang nasolve na problema. So, again, it was not something that SMARTMATIC planned for or that they even wanted because they had to incur a loss. But for the sake of making sure that the elections will run smoothly, they had to do it. They had no choice. Well, they had a choice, but you know, for the best, they have to do it.
Yung discard, may human intervention. Bakit hindi na lang kaagad din yung isinabit dyan sa inyong makina para paggamit, yun na kaagad ang nalagay sa packet. Hindi, dapat wala ng human intervention eh.
For the
SD card.
SD card.
Yes.
Ang SD card po, walang human intervention because it is only there to save the results. So, ano ba ang human intervention? Pagka kailangan mo pang mag-encode ng something or may kailangan ka pang isulat doon sa loob ng SD cards, wala pong ganun. In fact, nandyan lang siya, nakasaksak siya sa loob in order to save the results kasi encrypted siya. And it is required under the law, pag binasa niyo yung automated election law, that there should be an electronic device where you can store results electronically. Because even the law itself envisions a scenario where the transmission by electronic means might fail, so that it requires, as another measure, pag hindi mag-electronically transmit, that you bring the actual physical storage device and bring it to the canvassing para doon kukunin yung resulta. Yun lang ang intervention to that extent.
Katapusan, Ariel, yung sinabi mo kanina dyan, na yung perma ng BEI at saka dalawang kasama niya ay naririyan, sabi mo. Pero ang sabi ng Comelec, hindi rin pirma sila eh. Kaya ang transmitter ng inyong makina papunta sa shortcode ng Comelec ay kahit sino na lang na may makinang ganyan ang magta-transmit. Kaya masyado kong delikado sa amin.
Okay, pasagutin natin.
Dahil kandidato ako, bukas na to.
Yeah. Oh, pero tayo di ba siya papanalunin?
I wish hindi na. Yeah, you can go. But again, sir, not all machines can transmit. Only the machines na gagamitin for the elections, and they're all accounted for. So, kaya kung meron ka, kahit SMARTMATIC may sarili sila machine, it cannot get into the system. Again, the whole system has been verified, and it is Comelec that has configured each of the vote counting machines, including the canvassing servers. So hindi yun tatanggap ng transmission. In fact, the transmission that will be, where it will be used in some network, it's a private network that is devoted only for receiving transmissions.
6 years ang itatagal nitong thermal paper.
The thermal paper is thermal, right? So if it's stored into
Under the sun.
under the sun, it's going to last a lot less. It depends on the weather condition where it's stored. But into the correct conditions, it can last up to 6 years.
And in case of election protest, will you decide or Comelec?
Comelec.
It's Comelec and the courts that decide.
So kung
Regional
tatagal ng 6
tribunal.
years or 4 years, Comelec na may problema.
Well, Comelec is the entity that will store
Joey.
all of the voters' receipts.
Tanong lang, yung bang mga machine ay nakaprogram sa time and date ng boto? Halimbawa, bumoto ako ng alas 6 ng umaga, first vote. Lalabas ba sa resibo na kung anong oras ang bumoto, kung anong date nakalagay ba lahat?
Hindi. Again,
Bakit?
yung voters' receipts, nung time na nasa terms of reference ito. So bidding pa lang, nasa terms of reference na ng Comelec na any technical service provider, not just SMARTMATIC, any technical service provider that wishes to participate in the bidding and wishes to supply to Comelec is required to deliver a machine that is capable of having an on-screen review and printing voters' receipts. It was the same way in the 2010 and 2013 elections, where the machines were capable of printing receipts, except that Comelec, in those past elections, magkakaiba po yung members ng commission, mga commissioners natin that time, but they all voted not to activate the voters' receipt. So, it's the same. Nung nagka-bidding, yun yung requirement nila. But it did not require that the voters' receipts will have the capacity to include details of the time of vote, who voted. In fact, I doubt that that would be allowed under the law because of the secrecy of the ballots. You're not supposed to identify kung anong oras din binote because you will be able to say sinong binote mo, sinong binoto mo ba talaga. It's required by the Constitution that they should observe the secrecy of the ballots. So, again, nung nagkaroon na nga ng voters' receipts, in order to include any serial number or any other additional information, that would require changing the source code because it was not part of the original specifications of Comelec. And that is why also the Supreme Court said that hindi siya best evidence or wala evidentiary value yung voters' receipt. in terms of an election protest?
Anyway, there is an audit law, and you can ask the political parties and the persons who participate. If you want, at the end of the demonstration, we can also bring for you the audit logs of these machines that will show, basically, of course, not who voted, but that a person voted. So, if there is a timestamp for every action that is done in the machine, when you turn it off, when you take out the electricity, when you put in back the electricity, when you authenticate with the iPhone, each one of the actions is recorded in the audit log.
So most of the questions and apprehensions are answerable by COMELEC people. And the technical side, answerable by SMARTMATIC.
Yes, definitely. And that's why we're here. We want
And it's so bad, hindi dumating ng COMELEC. Nakipag-communicate sila natin sila, hindi sila dumating sa mga ito. But anyway, we are running out of time. So yung...
The persons who have the...
Yeah. Sino gusto
Actually, I want yung kaibigan po natin na nagtanong about yung voters' receipts and ballots not matching with overseas.
Yeah.
I would encourage him to also please try yung voting.
Si Manny ba yun? Si Manny yan? Okay. Sino raw gusto bumoto? Maliban sa akin. You can try.